After poking and prodding and testing over 14 of the most popular and best-selling robot vacuums, we're finally ready to give out awards for the best robot vacuum of 2019 in our opinion. I decided to break this up into 3 categories based on price range: the low-end or budget category, mid-level, and high-end robot vacuums. I should mention for the sake of transparency that 3 of the 14 robot vacuums in this competition were sent to me for free to review in the past. However, none of those ended up being number 1 in their category, so I don't think it will come into play. We have a lot to do, so links in the description to all the robot vacuums mentioned, and let's get started. With the budget category, we tested the Deebot N79S, the Eufy 11S, and the iLife V3S. Although the iLife had the most raw power or airflow, which we tested with an anemometer, and it did the best with edge cleaning, it didn't have a standard brush on the bottom, only a suction port for hard floors, so it scored very badly on the carpet tests, including having the lowest score ever on the carpet deep clean test, where we rubbed sand into medium pile carpet and weighed the dustbins before and after. It also had the smallest dustbin I've ever seen at only half a cup. Between the Eufy and the Deebot, the Eufy had more power, though the Deebot had slightly better battery life, but they were very similar in most other respects. But the reason I chose the Eufy 11S as the winner in this category is because it was slightly better at cleaning both hard floors and carpet, even in its low power setting. It also scored higher in the carpet deep clean test, and its brush was slightly less prone to tangles, though they both had some issues with this. I also like that though its navigation system was random, like all the others in this price range, meaning it randomly bounces around to clean your home, the Eufy's random algorithm seemed more efficient, cleaning in less time and missing fewer spots. Just by the numbers though, this category was very close, so though the Eufy 11S won, the Deebot N79S was a close second place, and it's still a great robot for the price. Moving on to the mid-level robot vacuums, this was the largest group in the competition with 7 competitors. In this price range you start to see a lot more smart navigation robots, which means they use cameras or lasers or other means to navigate in straight, efficient lines instead of randomly, which saves a lot of battery life. Smart navigation bots also tend to have better sensors that help them navigate around obstacles. Of the 7 we tested in this price range, only 2 were still random navigation robots, the Shark R85 and the Roomba 690. So I'm going to take them out of the running, which is a little bit of a shame in the case of the Shark R85, which was an excellent robot in many other ways. In the case of the Roomba 690, it was no great loss as it had one of the lowest overall scores of any robot we tested. Of all the smart navigation robots that are left, the Neato D3 had the most power, and although the RoboRock E25 and the Vinigo had the most potential battery life, when you factor in the power output in CFM, the Neato D3 had the best power to battery life ratio. It also helps that most smart navigation robots remember where they have and haven't cleaned, and if their battery runs low, they automatically return to the base to recharge and then resume where they left off. So battery life is much less of an issue with smart navigation robots. Another factor that will help whittle this list down is also related to navigation. More and more robot vacuums in this price range are starting to have app features where after the robot runs a few times and learns the layout of your house, you can draw lines and boxes on the map in the app to keep it from going certain places. You may not think your house is cluttered enough to need this, but if you've ever owned an older generation robot vacuum, you'll know that robot vacuums get stuck a lot. And by having what amounts to unlimited invisible barriers, you can make sure you never have to babysit your robot vacuum, like around places with cords or under beds. I honestly think that once people realize the power of this feature, very few people will want a robot vacuum that doesn't have it, since it basically represents the future of robot vacuum technology. Of those that are left, only the Neato D3 and the Deebot 901 have this no-go lines feature, and between those two, the Neato D3 wins for being much more efficient with cleaning both hard floors and carpet. It has a huge front-mounted brush roll that's very resistant to tangles and picks up just about any size of debris, from fine debris to pet hair to large debris, without scattering debris like so many others do. It also has the largest dustbin in the industry that I know of at 2.5 cups, compared to the extremely small dustbin of the Deebot 901 at 1 cup. So the Neato D3 wins this category, but the Neato butt-back connected line keeps getting better as the price points increase, so I'll link a few steps up in the description as well. So we're finally at the high-end robot vacuum category, where you will also find out our pick for the best overall robot vacuum of 2019. Here all the contestants are smart navigation robots, using either cameras or lasers to map out your home and clean in straight lines while having top-of-the-line obstacle avoidance sensors. Looking at the numbers, a few things jump out. The Neato D7 had the most power at 20 CFM on high power and 17 on low power, but the RoboRock S5 had good power and amazing battery life numbers. The new Roomba i7 with the amazing clean base feature is supposed to have the same power as the previous top-of-the-line model, the 980, which we also tested, but in all of our tests it really didn't perform as well. For instance, it was just good, not great at pickup, and it didn't seem to have a lot of power based on the crevice pickup test and a few other things where it scored the lowest in its class by a fair margin. The clean base feature was truly amazing though, and despite the i7 Plus being the most expensive robot in this competition, and despite it being just slightly above average in all the other metrics, it is a good buy if for no other reason than because of the self-emptying bin feature called the clean base, which we really loved, and you should check out our review of it if you're interested. However, this category comes down to the Neato D7 and the RoboRock S5. I tried several ways to score it, and each time the numbers kept coming up as a tie, but I can't leave it like that. They both have the no-go lines feature, which I mentioned before, and they also have zone cleaning, where you can choose a particular area or room in your house that you want it to clean. They both are absolutely amazing cleaners. In fact, I've never seen such efficient pickup on both hard floors and carpet as with these two. And they were both better than average with edge cleaning and deep cleaning as well. The RoboRock S5 has a mopping attachment which worked quite well and was easy to use, which was a point in its favor, and it had the best battery life I've ever seen on a robot vacuum. But on the other hand, the Neato had more power and it did better with things like the crevice pickup test. Also, the Neato has a huge dustbin compared to the fairly small 1 cup on the RoboRock. So even though my score sheet says it's a tie, I'm going to break the tie by choosing the Neato D7 as the winner of this category and best overall robot vacuum of 2019, even though I think I could have just as easily chosen the RoboRock S5, which blew me away with its performance. Links in the description for current prices to all the vacuums mentioned, and please consider a like, or even better, a subscription to Vacuum Wars if you want to keep up to date with all the latest robot vacuums, upright vacuums, and carpet cleaners. Thanks for watching.